Welcome, welcome to TC Config Studios. My name is Joseph, and I'll be your host for today. Today, we will be working through the branding wizard. Now, if you have been following right along, you will already be at the system dashboard. But if you've had to step away and come back, and you've logged out, you're going to navigate to customer.tc-config.com, log in with your Entra ID, and that should put you back at the system dashboard. Now, before we step through the branding wizard, there's a little piece of caretaking we need to do over in our Entra admin portal. So we're going to swap over to our Entra admin tab. And you can see I'm already on the company branding. But if you needed to get there, you can navigate down through manage. Then you scroll down, choose company branding. And when it loads, we'll be there. So Microsoft does not make all of the pieces for customer branding or organizational branding available until you actually go in and make your very first change the uh, to that piece of the software, right? Then Microsoft actually does what it needs to do to implement that piece in the back end, and then that will make it available for any type of graph API or other access to it. But until that happens, it just doesn't actually really exist. So let me refresh my screen. Now, the very first time you get into company branding, you might end up at the getting started screen. Or if you maybe been in there playing around, you might already be at the default sign in screen. If we're starting at the getting started, then what you're going to click edit. Um, all right, so we click edit, we get into here, and what we're going to do is there's going to be a few things that we're just going to change, and then that will just make it ready for us. So we're going to go ahead and you can click up here layout. And then we're just going to go ahead and do full screen, show header, show footer. Then we're going to click on next header, next footer, and we're going ahead and go check mark on show privacy and cookies, show terms of use. Click on next for sign in form. And we're going to click on show self password reset, self service password reset. Next to review and save. And that will go out and create all the different little pieces that we need on the back end inside Microsoft. Now that we've done that, we can go ahead and flip back over to the TC config application. We're going to click on branding. Then we're going to click on generate from logo. Now you can click here and you'll be able to use File Explorer to go out and browse your system for a logo you want to use. Or you can just do a drag and drop. I'm going to do a drag and drop. There we go. Then we'll just do a next. Now I'm going to make some adjustments here. I'm going to set my padding down to 8. And again, this is just personal preferences that you have here. I'm going to make that 80. I'm going to change my color. So I'll make it that green. I'm going to click on update previews. So we can kind of see, all right, so we fill it in. We see our colors. Now I'm actually going to generate those icons. So we'll click generate icons, and that is going through and taking that one icon that we had and is creating all the different sizes that we need for our M365 organizational branding. And so with organizational branding, there's image size limits and file size limits. And this takes care of, calculates all that and uses that one image to do it all. Now we're going to click Done. Now we can either click on branding up here at the top, or if you'd already scrolled to the bottom as you looked at your work, you can click on Next Branding Settings. Now we're going to click in, do our background color and header background color. So for my header background color, I'm just going to use that same green that we already have. And then for my background, I'm going to use a nice little blue. Now, if you wanted to, you could click into the little color icon tabs here, and you can play around with your colors and adjust colors or put in your RGB settings. To get out of this, you can just click anywhere on the screen. Now I'm going to click on Show Color Preview, and that looks pretty good. Now we're going to put in our sign-in page text. And our username hint. Now, there's some, this is good, right? If you want to do some additional customization, you can do that as well. So you can drop down this menu here. And now this will let us fill out some of that other customization that we're allowed to do. So for our account reset URL, we'll put that in there if it pastes correctly. And then for our can't access your account, we'll do that. We'll direct them to our help team. Forgot password. Like I've never done that before. And we'll put that in there. And we'll put in our password reset link. Privacy and cookies. Want to have a little bit of fun here. However, I don't recommend you actually do this in your own corporate policies. Your lawyers may not approve. Or, they might find it funny, but they still probably won't approve. All right. Now we're going to click Save Branding and Configuration. And notice this changes down here to say branded. And now we have our branding and logos all put in place. Our next step is to actually go and deploy those. So we're going to click on Deploy Config. Now, this is also, Deploy Config is also where we deploy the policies into your environment. Right now, we have not assigned our policy deployment license to the environment yet, so we can't do that. However, if you'd already had your deployment license out there, you can do this all at one time. We're breaking it up into two different things. Now we're going to be able to click on branding customization. This is what's going to put the text out there in your environment. And then we're also doing the logos. So if you didn't want to do logos or you only want to do logos, you have the ability here to flip these switches to meet your need. Click Next. And I'm just going to think about it. We must have some slow internet today. Now we're going to click on Start Deployment. Now this should take right around 2 minutes. So I'm actually going to, just out of curiosity, I'm going to put a timer up here. So I have the timer on the screen. We will click the start on the timer, and then we'll click the start deployment. And like I said, it should take right around 2 minutes. As with all things Microsoft and internet based, sometimes it's a little faster, sometimes it's a little slower. And every once in a while, it's a lot slower. All right, everybody. So, a little user error on my part. I went to go click on pause the recording. I stopped the recording. I also noticed when I reviewed that first segment that I was only sharing my screen or window and not actually the whole monitor. So you did not see me put that timer up there and start it. My apologies for that. This is actually the first time I'm using Clipchamp to do the video, and I'm just still a little unfamiliar with all of the little nuances of the software. Now that we did deploy the branding configuration, we can click on view results. We can see that it's successful. Now we can close Windows, the wizard. It'll refresh the screen. And we'll be able to see that we have our little logo up there, screen colors. If we go out to our tenant, we can see that in company branding that we have the features configured like we had said we would. Those are there. See, we're done with the branding deployment. It didn't take very long. It was very powerful though. It created all those icons for us out of just one that we had. So we didn't have to try to go and track down all the different ones that we would need, the different sizes and file sizes. Yeah. So Microsoft has image size requirements, and they also have file size requirements that you have to meet. And so this little wizard does it for us. Next, we're going to be going through the policy deployment wizard and the policy deployment wizard licensing. If you're a regular customer, this video is going to be for you. It's going to be customer 104. If you happen to be an MSP customer, then you should step through the MSP wizard video next. That will actually get that MSP and you onboarded together so that the MSP can get into your environment and do these things for you. I appreciate you joining us today. Have a great day.